Over here.
This is a change of pace from our last outing.
Don't remind me. The thought of that tent still makes my blood boil. I've been thinking about those poor dragons in the fighting ring. The collars they were wearing, they appeared to be goblin silver. I think a collar is precisely what we found at that poacher camp. I've never known poachers to use anything like that before.
The dragon that attacked my carriage was wearing a collar, and Professor Fig was genuinely baffled by its behavior.
That attack always did strike me as a little strange, seemingly coming out of nowhere. Surely you aren't suggesting that the collars somehow control the poor creatures?
Exactly.
Merlin, I don't think the dragon we set free was wearing a collar, but we should check. And if we can find her, we can return her egg.
That's a good idea. We need to see this through.
I'll start looking into it right away. There was something else that I wanted to discuss with you. I didn't want to press it before. It seems I may have caused you more trouble with Victor Rookwood. Why is he after you?
Rookwood is working with Ranrock, and Ranrock is after something I found at Gringotts. Fig had a portkey that led us there after the dragon attack. It's a bit of a long story, and Fig had asked that I not speak of it yet.
Goodness. Well, that certainly helps to shed light on what we saw at the tent. Don't worry, I'll guard your secret as if it were my own. I shan't press for more details. In fact, I should probably be going. I'd like to track that dragon down as soon as I can. I'll let you know when I have news of her location.
Alfred Lawley's none too pleased. Seems he's been burgled. I shall pretend I never...
Are you ready to put an end to Harlow?
I'm ready to do what's needed to take Harlow down. I know you have a plan.
We must gather information from the friends of Mr. Bickle that Archie and Mrs. Bickle mentioned. Agabus Filbert, Otto Dibble, and Mr. and Mrs. Rabe.
All right.
I suggest that you speak with each of them while I head to the Hogshead. I saw some Ashwinders heading there. And as my mother would never go near the Hogshead, she is less likely to learn of my activities than if I were to wander the village questioning its residents.
Where am I to find these friends of his?
I do not know about Mr. Rabe, but his wife, Daisy, is often in Hogsmeade, as is Agabus Filbert. And Otto Dibble, he works at Gladrags, so you will likely find him there.
What sort of information am I trying to gather from these people?
They may know what evidence Mr. Bickle had against Harlow, or they may have evidence of their own. We simply need to know whatever they know.
Very well. I'll speak with them, see what I can learn.
I knew I could rely on you. We need to know how they are being blackmailed by Rookwood and Harlow. Meet me here after you have spoken with them. Hopefully, by the time you return, I will be able to move a bit more freely.
Likely it was made with
Agabus Filbert must be around here somewhere.
Hello there.
Excuse me, Mr. Filbert. I wondered if I might speak with you about your dealings with Theophilus Harlow. I hope to ease Mrs. Bickle's mind by gathering evidence against him.
Tragic, what happened to Bickle. He wanted me to speak out against Harlow for an act of violence committed against me. But I feared Harlow's retaliation, and so I refused.
If you had spoken out against him as Mr. Bickle asked, perhaps Harlow would be locked away by now.
Perhaps. But perhaps I would have suffered a similar fate.
You said that Harlow committed an act of violence against you. Could you tell me what happened?
Before my extraordinary wife, Dulcibella, passed away, she had just completed a small book of poetry. As a surprise for her birthday, one she never had the chance to celebrate, I had the book beautifully bound and plated in gold. One day, Harlow came calling to punish me for having spoken out against the Neanderthals that comprise Rookwood's lot. Before I knew it, I'd been petrified, and Harlow was rifling through my home. He found the book of poetry, with its exquisite gold plating. I watched helplessly, lying there in my entranceway as he walked away with the book, laughing as he went. I was shaken to my core. Still am, to be honest.
I imagine you fear Harlow retaliating again, but do you mind if I share this information with Officer Singer?
I suppose I have no choice. This extortion can't go on forever. You can pass it on to anyone who may be willing to help. Harlow does not like people talking, as you already know.
Now, to find Mr. Bickle's other two friends.
a meat to cart is all ready.
Otto Dibble works at Gladrags. I should check there. Mrs. Rabe should be nearby.
Oh, Isco, what have I done?
Mrs. Rabe, I wondered if I might speak with you about Theophilus Harlow. I'm a friend of the Bickles and I'm trying to gather evidence against him.
Poor Joanna and little Archie. And now Harlow has taken my darling Isco.
What do you mean? Why?
I'm a security guard at Gringotts, and my husband is a curse breaker for them. Harlow approached me about helping him extort my colleagues into giving him treasures from the vaults.
And you declined?
Of course I declined. Repeatedly. I thought they'd given up, until I came home one night and found my husband gone, and a note affixed to my door with a knife. The note stated that I only had a few days to reconsider helping with some banking needs, and that my husband would appreciate it if I acted quickly. But the help Harlow wants is help that I cannot give, and my dearest Isco is paying the price.
Why wouldn't Harlow extort your husband?
Isco's job is even more removed from the vaults than mine. He travels the world for the bank. He could do nothing for Harlow. I'm the one in the bank on a daily basis, which evidently makes me an enticing target for blackmail.
Have you helped Harlow since your husband was taken?
No, I'm worried sick about Isco, but he'd never want me to compromise my integrity. I also know that he's extremely clever. That said, I was hoping he would have escaped by now. It makes me concerned as to why he hasn't.
Are you sure the note means that your husband was kidnapped?
What else could it possibly mean? Besides, I came home to find that someone had trampled the daisies in our garden. It may sound silly, but those were Isco's pride and joy. He would never have let that happen.
Thank you, Mrs. Rabe. Knowing the lengths that Harlow will go to is helpful, albeit more than disturbing.
Mr. Bickle was trying to help us, but now he's gone. I don't know what to do.
I shall do all I can to get evidence against Harlow, Mrs. Rabe.
Very well. Here's the note I received. You must be careful as well. Please don't put yourself in danger.
Some evidence worth hanging on to.
Thank you. I hope it's not too late.
We're on the right track. Now to find the last of Mr. Bickle's friends.
Please tell me you didn't take it. But perhaps it's been here all along.
Mr. Dibble, may I speak with you? It's about Theophilus Harlow.
I've nothing to say about him. May I interest you in a stunning cravat today?
Please, sir, I would like to help. I spoke to Mrs. Bickle.
You know the Bickles? All right. But we must be discreet. Can't have Mr. Hill hearing this.
I know Mr. Hill. He was kind to me the day of the troll attack.
Oh, he's a good man. But even he wouldn't understand about Harlow. It started a few weeks ago. I was distracted, reading a note, when you-know-who came into the shop. I hid the note behind the counter and offered to help him. He stared at me for a moment, then asked me to check on an order he'd placed. I went into the storeroom to check on what turned out to be a non-existent order. When I returned, he was holding the note.
What was in the note?
It was a note from Rosie Hill, Mr. Hill's daughter. You see, we've been, secretly engaged these past 6 months. We haven't told Mr. Hill yet. I dare say he has higher hopes for her. Harlow advised me in no uncertain terms that my relationship with Rosie, not to mention my employment here, depended upon my cooperation.
What did he ask you to do?
It all happened so quickly. In an instant, he took a very expensive scarf from the counter, pocketed it, and smiled. He said, "Your secret is safe as long as I can supply my lady friend with delightful items like this every so often." I've been able to cover for his requests until now with some creative bookkeeping, but I can't keep it out for much longer. I'm terrified to say anything. I could never live without Rosie.
Could you give me a bit more detail about the note? That might help me to identify it should I come across it.
It's on Rosie's special pink stationery. It has her monogram at the top, RH. That's how Mr. Hill would know it was real.
What have you been doing to keep the extortion a secret?
Well, as I mentioned, creative bookkeeping. And I've also been trying to cover the costs with my own savings, but I'm running out of money. Of course, none of this bodes well for my efforts to improve my circumstances and to be worthy of Rosie.
I met Mr. Hill the day of the troll attack. He was kind to me. Why don't you just tell him?
He's a lovely man. But when it comes to Rosie, I fear he loses all perspective. He'd see this as a grave betrayal. I'd lose my job instantly, and Rosie as well.
Thank you for telling me. I'm gathering evidence to take Harlow down.
I would love nothing more than to see him rotting in Azkaban, but be careful. He's an awful man and incredibly dangerous. As for Rosie's letter, should you happen upon it, I have committed it to memory. You may destroy it immediately.
Understood.
Now hurry off before Mr. Hill returns. Where was I?
I've spoken with Mr. Bickle's friends. Now to find Natty. Revelio.
first employment of the village.
It's not like Natty to be late. She said she was going to the Hog's Head. Perhaps I'll find her there. Natty must be around here somewhere. Revelio. Natty's wand. She can cast without it. She wanted me to find this. She's in trouble. Revelio will show me where she was taken. Revelio.
Nosy little students get what's coming to them.
Revelio.
Oh, hard work and good luck go hand in hand.
Natty must have been taken this way. I need to find her quickly. The footprints led to this room. There must be another way forward. Accio! Hidden door. Natty must have been taken this way. I need to find her quickly. Revelio. Revelio. I'd better be sure I'm not seen.
I remember my heart speaking this time. Seems now they're upon me.
It's not gonna work.
It's mine.
You're this way. Someone's coming for her. We ought to just kill her.
Harlow says her friend will be reckless enough. He wants them alive.
Only a Hogwarts student would be
Revelio.
able to come in here alone.
Just keep an eye out.
haven't they? They don't seem to care for me. Can't say I blame them for all I've done. Aye. It's exhausting. Standing here all day, waiting to do Rookwood's work for him. He can fight his own battles.
Revelio.
Everyone in Upper Hogsfield shudders when they see me coming, and crack or break is infested with botanist. Come on over like that, I'm gonna kill him. I hope Rookwood knows what he's doing.
Revelio.
Aye.
It's all about having a keen eye. Take me, for instance. My eye's as keen as a niffler's on a pile of gold, or a knocked...
I've robbed every tramping vessel that's passed through here, and never see it coming.
Concentrate. Can't let anyone pass it this time.
Revelio.
I've raided Brockborough more times than I can count. They're incapable of defending themselves. I never thought they were in some trouble. They need to be
Sour?
Lower Hogsfield needs some stocks after our little visit.
Revelio.
Oi, oi!
Yes, there've been mistakes, but I can't complain.
Let's finish this job and be done with it. Waste of time, this is.
Revelio.
How did I get mixed up in this? Doing Rookwood's work for him.
Revelio.
He'll tell on us first chance he gets. Hey, wait. I've had enough of Fel. Girl's been nothing but trouble. About time we locked her up. It's
Revelio.
They don't seem to care for me in Hogsfield. They're blaming me for what I've done there.
Be on the lookout for the girl's friend. If they're daft enough to try to come through here.
Revelio.
I'm tired.
Hey! I don't want to work with Rookwood. Not now, not ever. Rookwood's gone mad.
One wonders if one's life is indeed carved out by destiny.
Revelio.
Aye.
Laid along the way.
Oi, oi!
Call out for me all you want. I shall be off
I hope Rookwood knows what he's doing. Everyone in Upper Hogsmeade shudders when they see me come, and rightfully so. I've read more times than I can count. They're incapable of defending themselves. Doing Rookwood's work. Got my eye. Very attention they do. Let's finish this job and be done. Wasting time, sis.
Revelio.
You can learn a lot from weather, though, can't you? It's like everything's foretold right before you. What? What are you smiling at?
We should speak to her again. Perhaps she'll tell us where we can find that friend of hers.
She's determined to say nothing. The boss will deal with her when he arrives. There's not a thing worth learning from civilized society.
I ain't allowed back in Gladrags on account of my light fingers.
Revelio.
When we're done here, I'm going to...
What are you dribbling over there? Look like you've been had by the flobberworm himself.
To be sure.
Expulsion! Hope you could hide from me, did ya?
How dare you! You cannot control me! Cynthia!
Expulsion! Expulsion! How dare you do such a
Revelio. Revelio. And he must be here somewhere.
I raised Rockford more times than I can count. Everyone in Upper Hogsmeade shudders when they see me come, and rightfully so.
You found us!
Revelio.
I knew you would realize I had left my wand for you. Speak to Mr. Rabe. He will tell you what you need to do.
Over here. I need your help.
Hello, Amora. Mr. Rabe, Daisy told me you'd been abducted.
You spoke with my wife. How is she?
Worried about you. Are you all right?
I am all right. Thank you for coming. These locks are cursed, and there's an anti-apparition jinx on the cells. Even Natty's skill with wandless magic cannot free us. I need you to find my wand.
Mr. Rabe, I found your wand.
Well done. I knew it was nearby. Now, you best stand back. One never knows how a curse will react to being broken.
Thank you, Mr. Isco.
My pleasure. And thank you, my friend. We owe our lives to your bravery. I may be too weak to disapparate with you both, but I can try.
You go ahead. Find Officer Singer. We will get out of here on our own.
Very well. But be careful. Thank you, my young friends.
Be prepared for a fight. These Ashwinders must pay. Go lightly. Be as a shadow.
I've robbed every tramp conventor that's passed through here. They never see it coming.
Revelio.
It's been a bit grim, I won't deny, but the tides will turn for us soon.
I don't trust Ranrock, I'll tell you that. He'll jump on us first. You remember that by people. Can't say I do. What will we do? I've had enough of Spellcroft. Hope I never have to see it again.
Revelio.
We've been straying from your instructions. Don't interrupt me. Mind yourself. Understood?
Guardian Leviosa.
They don't seem to care for me, can't say I blame them like down there.
Revelio.
It's exhausting. Standing here all day waiting to do Rookwood's work for him. He can fight his own battles.
Students these days. So
Revelio.
suppose that's what we're counting on, isn't it?
I've used the dark arts several times. Can't understand why. Everyone in Upper Hogsfield shudders when they see me coming, and rightfully so. I've raided Rockborough more times than I can count. They're incapable of defending themselves. I don't want to work with goblins. Not now, not ever. Rookwood's gone mad. doing here? We ought to be at the Hogshead.
Otto Dibble's love letter from Rosie. He wanted me to destroy this if I found it.
How did I...
Revelio.
After this, doing Rookwood's work for him. I hope Rookwood knows what he's doing.
I remember my father speaking to us. Seems now they're upon me, they tell quite a different story.
I've robbed every travelling vendor that's passed through here. They never see it coming. I don't trust Ranrock, I'll tell you that. He'll turn on us first chance he gets. Let's finish this job and be done.
Revelio.
Waste of time, this is. I could use a fire whiskey right now.
Yes, there have been mistakes, but I can't complain. If I'm to think on it, we've seen far worse in our years.
I ought to pay that pretty little Say what you...
Anyone looking for troubles, fair.
You'll be sorry you did that.
My mother used to always say, a clear head makes way for a clear path. I don't know what your path is, since your head's never clear path.
Revelio.
Quiet as a mouse round here.
If people don't want me to steal their valuables, they better get a really good look.
Revelio. The book of poems that was taken from Agabus Filbert. He'll be thrilled to have this back. Revelio.
Oh, what's the light go out of your eyes?
Expulsion! I don't mind breaking a few bones if there's a few galleons. Expulsion! You'll be sorry you did that. How dare you do such a thing to me?
I'll never get lost, me. It's all about having a keen eye. Take me, for instance. My eye's as keen as... Oh, what's the light go out of your eyes?
Expulsion! Expulsion!
So we're on!
Share and share alike, say I, as I'm robbing.
Show yourself!
Extorting You'll be sorry you did that.
Someone messing about?
Expulsion! Was it upper?
They know the lies and
Expulsion! Expulsion!
I'll watch the light go out of your eyes. Call out for me all you want. I shall be off spending my spoils in Hogsmeade. Ha ha!
Revelio. Revelio.
Now I can fight back. Finally!
Revelio.
Loud as a troll you are!
Revelio.
I'll watch the light go out of your eyes.
That's what they deserved.
Revelio. Revelio. Lumos.
Lumos.
Revelio.
Let's find Officer Singer and put an end to Harlow once and for all.
Natsai Onai. I should have known. And you, the troll dispatcher. Oh, thank goodness the two of you are safe. Isco Rabe told me a couple of students had rescued him. Should have known it was you two.
Is Mr. Rabe all right?
He is. I sent him home to his wife. Miss Onai, your mother will not be pleased to learn that you're still risking your safety pursuing these dangerous men.
Actually, Officer Singer, Natty and I learned of several Hogsmeade residents who've had their lives threatened by the Ashbinders. In addition to abducting Mr. Rabe, to blackmail his wife and Natty, Rookwood and Harlow have also extorted Agabus Filbert and Otto Dibble.
I will look into all of that. As for the two of you, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but you are taking great risk. Next time, please let the authorities handle the Ashwinders.
Yes, officer. Do you have enough evidence to take down Harlow and the rest of Rookwood's lot?
Well, it's certainly a good start. We shall see. But you can leave this to me now. Natsai, you may wish to speak with your mother about this before I do.
My mother will not like this. Thank you again for rescuing me. We shall speak soon.
I have some promising news about the location of our Hebridean dragon friend and where to return her you-know-what. Meet me in the town circle in Hogsmeade.
The Ashwinders have ceased pestering me. I suspect that's your doing. Thank you from me and Rosie both. We're just leaving for our honeymoon, after we tell Mr. Hill of our recent marriage. Wish me luck.
Mr. Filbert, I have your book.
But how did you... Oh, thank you. I can't tell you what this means to me.
I'm glad to have been of help.
Oh, my. I cannot believe I have this bit of my dearest Dulcibella back. Thank you, my young friend. Thank you. Oh.
come in, look around, and if you've been eating chocolate frogs, please refrain from touching